Okay, that's how they were eavesdropping on her. Whoever they is specifically. Alright, let's see if the key fits in here.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
Now I'm starting to wonder, was Imelda actually Nico's mother? Maybe we'll find out. I'll have to listen to that song that gets played over on the radio in its entirety at some point. If I like it, maybe I'll put it in a video at some point.
I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside. It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box? I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father. There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come. Hotel Saint Georges, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you are really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
A moment of contemplation. The next morning. Wow, she hasn't moved at all.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did it snow?
Hardly. He was dead.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templar's gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Do you want to look after the gem?
No, Georges. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
What's your problem, sister?
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy.
I gotta admit, since we're in an adventure, I think George does have a point. What do you think of this gem? Okay, well, we have the gem. Shall we... I guess we can look at the parchment
Let's
once
take
more.
another look at the manuscript.
Okay, so we have this now.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
Alright, so now we need to find one of these other three.
There's a guy working on a loom.
A loom?
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has three hideous faces.
Yes, a mirror.
A knight with a crystal ball. The knight scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened.
The crystal ball. So my guess is that's the other three objects we need to find.
Look there, two guys on the same horse. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Alright, so I guess that's our next mission.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lopinot at the Krone Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
George isn't sexist at all. Okay. Out the door we go.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
We get so little time to play as Nico that we have to be George again. Alright, let's try the police station first. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay, so... speak to him in order to talk to Russo, I believe.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Oh, they're known thugs, huh?
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
Oh, man, my head's starting to spin with all these different names.
Maybe not.
You don't want to give him any plaster?
No way.
Or a gem? Okay.
See you later, Sergeant.
Okay, I guess we can't talk to the psychic detective. Okay, where else can we go? No, this is back where we started. Once again, I show I'm great at maps.
Hello, George.
Let me sit down here and put stuff on the table.
What are your plans?
I want to find all I've got to...
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't sit here.
Okay, and
Okay. Shopping.
Just go, George. Cafe? No, it's still all boarded up. Okay, I guess we just have to go to the museum then. Oh, there's the hospital. Yeah, we'll go to the museum. See if that archaeologist has returned.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education He was an optician.
Oh, wait a minute. We've heard
But
this one
he
before.
taught me
Why don't you start over?
You know? Do you?
And you're...
Plaster.
Does this white powder mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
I found this gem at a medieval site in Ireland.
That means nothing to me, monsieur.
How did you manage to get this job?
I had the right qualifications, a military manner, squeaky shoes, and an irrational hatred of children.
Fair enough.
Thanks for your help.
Can we put the thing and jewel in the thing? No. Well, actually, I don't see anything. Oh, wait a minute. This is new. Or is it not? I can't remember. Ah! Let's take a look.
A metal rod attached to the wall was connected to the window.
Attention!
Don't you think it's kind of...
Better stuff it.
What's the problem?
Not
So,
they cook their deer since.
Okay, we went through that conversation as well. Man, we need to get rid of this guard. We can't do anything interesting in the museum. Alright, we'll go to the hospital. Maybe we can get something productive done there.
there was no sign of the crew of the ambulance.
Ooh, ransack it.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Always so anticlimactic. Yeah. Alright, let's just go in the door then.
The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Today, he was working on his withering stare. Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
So friendly.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules.
I can imagine this guy's bedside manner.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
So there's no way he can take over the world because he's extremely rich? That makes no sense.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
Certainly not.
Does this white powder mean anything to you?
No, sir. I do not pretend to know the pharmacist's job.
Look at this, Doc. It's a genuine medieval-type gemstone.
Yes, so I see. Remarkable.
I have to take this gem to Marquet. He might be able to explain its significance.
My dear chap, Marquet has other things on his mind right now.
Like what?
His catheter, for one.
Ugh. Thank you for that image.
What do you make of this tissue, sir?
If I were you, I'd have this sample analyzed.
Do we dare?
May I have the honor of shaking you by the hand?
You may not. I don't encourage physical contact between my staff.
Why am I not surprised?
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamat?
No, sir, I have not.
It's worth a shot.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir, I do not.
Your help is lacking.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
Sacre bleu! That's exactly what I needed in my last operation.
It is?
I had to improvise with a knitting needle and a couple of corks.
Ouch.
If only you'd been on hand at the time, my patient would have given his right arm for it.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, it does not.
Do you recognize this red nose, sir?
No, I do not. This is a hospital, not a circus ring. We minister to the sick in body, not the sick in mind.
Ha. Alright, enough with the doctor.
Thanks for your help.
As limited as it was.
The woman managed to look overworked and hassled, though she didn't appear to be doing anything.
Oh, there's a talent.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir?
is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Boy, she sounds nowhere near French.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yes?
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not.
Oh, someone just rolled a 1 on their persuasion check.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
Maybe they did.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
I have to agree with you there.
So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
Bingo.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's Nurse Grendel's ward.
Dun dun dun. Actually, what? I have no idea what that means.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients
Wow.
of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
The administrators have a sauna? Man.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Alright, on the left.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow. The door didn't have a sign or label or any kind of identification. He looked blissfully happy for no apparent reason.
Oh, I get that look on me all the time.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
Oh boy.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you? I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
I don't even want to know what that is.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Do I dare ask you about something shiny?
What do you think of this, Sam?
Oh, boy! What is it?
A priceless gemstone, found in a medieval castle in Ireland. Get me into Marquet's ward, and it's yours.
I don't wear jewellery.
If this gem was yours, you'd be able to buy 100 Mr. Shinies.
Don't be silly. There's only one Mr. Shiny.
George, why are you going around offering a priceless gemstone to random people just to get them to do favors for you?
Do you recognize this powder?
Is that dandruff?
No
Yeah.
way.
It sure looks like dandruff.
It's plaster.
Ugh.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No.
It's like pulling teeth.
Take a look at this red nose.
Are you a policeman?
No, this is a clown's nose, not a policeman's. What does this tissue suggest to you?
You have a cold. What you need is vitamin C.
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not until I've washed, if you don't mind, sir.
Would this tool be any use to you?
No, sir. Mr. Shiny has no user-serviceable parts. Whatever that means.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
You should never, ever play with matches.
I know that, but...
People get hurt when they do. They end up in hospital, like the burger lady. She was so burned up, they didn't know whether to use bandages or onions.
Ugh.
Do you recognize this pass?
No, I don't. Should I?
It's been
No,
pretty
but
useful.
I wondered if you'd seen a stranger flashing it about.
No, sir. But if I had, Mr. Shiny would take care of him.
Attack someone with a shiny machine.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now. Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Oh, well, maybe we can get there later. Shall we pull the plug on him?
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
I think we can get in now. Or maybe not. Quick, get in. Awesome. Now we look like a doctor. Smooth, George. Okay, so I guess we go this way.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, Doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
Alright, so I have a feeling if we hadn't gotten that doctor coat, she probably would have ordered us out of the ward, so it's a good thing that we did get it.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Oh.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
I don't even want to know what the resulting injury was.